Hi everyone, I am Lynn, H.I.R.E's Intake and Operations Coordinator. H.I.R.E is the hub for integration, reentry, and employment, and we help justice-involved individuals get linked up with resources and employment readiness. Today, we are hosting our Workforce Ready workshop in partnership with BMO Bank, who will be talking about considering home ownership. This workshop is a part of an ongoing Workforce Ready workshop series. Our next Workforce Ready workshop is in partnership with Bank of California and will be on October 16th from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. about FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. Following that, we have another Workforce Ready workshop with BMO Bank on October 23rd from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. about banking basics. We will also have our peer support group session on October 8th, and we'll send out more information on that soon. So to stay up to date on all of our workshops and events, you can check out our website, www.hireoc.org, under upcoming events. If anyone has any questions today, please type it out in the chat and I will read it out for you. With that being said, we are honored to have Daniel from BMO Bank to present with us today.
Today, we're going to be talking about family planning for higher education costs. So it's perfectly aligned with the next workshop you're having, talking about FAFSA. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. Welcome to the Family Planning of Higher Education Cost workshop. So today, there are so many options for high school students to choose from when they graduate. So some of these can be costly. In this workshop, you will learn how to better prepare for these choices. This will give your student the best advantage no matter what they decide to do. So before we get into it, I just kind of want to cover a few facts about higher education. So since the mid-1960s, higher education programs, which include 2-year, 4-year, and graduate schools, have experienced a drastic increase in price. After adjusting for currency, inflation, college tuition has increased over 747% since 1963. So planning, investing, and saving for your student's future has never been more important. Shouting while you're a student is also key to success. All right, so let's take a look at what we will cover in the workshop today. So today we're going to learn about the cost of higher education, discover some financial strategies that align with the family's financial and educational goals, evaluate financial strategies for funding higher education, and then finally create an action plan for your family. So as we go through this course today, we will keep your family's goals in mind. So take a moment to think about some of your family goals, specifically educational goals for your students or yourself. So some examples of those long-term educational goals, right? You want to send your student or yourself to a 4-year college, or you want to help your student choose a career training such as HVAC, welding, or dental technician training. And also think about some dual enrollment for them at a nearby college. And we'll talk a little bit more about those strategies in another slide here. So wherever you are in your planning and goal setting, it's not too late to develop or refine your strategy. So when considering your student's future, there are some factors to keep in mind while deciding how much to save. So on this next slide here, we're going to be talking about the rising cost of college, right? So cost is one of the most influential factors that affect education planning. As we discovered earlier, the cost of higher education has skyrocketed. As you can see on the graph here, the average tuition for both private and public 4-year schools has drastically increased since most of your parents were in college. Not only have these prices increased, but college tuition has also outpaced inflation of normal goods and services by almost 3 times. So if you see here on the slide, we see the increase in cost year over year since 1877 through data through 2017 and 2018. So now that we understand the increase in prices, right, let's find out what we can do about it to make sure that we're saving enough funds to go to college. So one of the best things we can do to help combat higher education costs is to save and invest. Sometimes we get confused by the two, so saving and investing. So they both are important to achieve any financial goal, especially education, but they are different and should be used for different purposes. Some ways to save include savings accounts, CDs, money market accounts, bonds, and cash, right? And then here are some ways to invest. They include traditional investing, 529 plans, or an education savings account, for short known as ESA. All right, so now that we have seen some ways to save and invest, let's look at our options so we can make accurate objectives to meet our goals. So as you can see here, each option comes with its own financial costs, objectives, goals, and many other factors. Knowing what options are available and discussing these with your family will help you plan. As you can see, right, there's many different options for your post-high school education. You can choose a traditional four-year college or university. You can attend a two-year community college. You can attend a trade and certificate programs. You can start your own business. You can go to the military, go straight into the workforce, take a gap year off, or other options right after high school. So to help us understand how much we can save before our student or yourself goes out on their own, we need to see once again how much tuition costs for a variety of options. So let's look at this table and observe how different schooling options cost, as well as their categories like board, books, transportation, and other. So these stats are as current as 2022. I'm sorry if my screen is kind of, see if I can make it larger so you can take a look here. So as you can see for private colleges, right, this can include Harvard, Yale, your Ivy League schools will be considered private. As you can see, the cost is over $55,000 to attend. A public college like UCLA is about $44,000 to attend. Another public four-year college can also range between $27,000. And you can see the difference here, right? We see what the cost for tuition and fees are. You can see room and board. So this covers your food and where you're living. We can see the cost of books. So we see here, right, that it's pretty expensive to go to college. So we want to make sure that you're prepared and helping yourself save money so you don't run into any hiccups. So again, these are the more traditional routes for post-high school graduation and not necessarily the only choices. The importance of showing you is for you to see that higher education, regardless if you go traditional route or non-traditional routes, will require some planning. One strategy your family can implement to help lower these costs is to explore the concurrent and dual enrollment programs that your district offers. So I love this slide because it gives us an idea of exactly the other options to help you save costs while you're in high school. So concurrent or dual enrollment programs are educational programs that high schools can offer their students so that they can take accredited college courses while they are still in high school. And so think of this as AP classes as well, right, that's offered. So these programs vary from district to district. Some schools may not have the program at all, while others offer enough courses so a student can graduate high school with an associate degree or higher. So getting yourself or a student into a concurrent dual enrollment program can benefit them in many ways, even if they do not go to traditional high school college route. What's another benefit of doing dual enrollment? It also helps you save money, right? So if we take a look at how it helps you save money, you can see by credit. At a four-year public school, a credit per hour will cost you $396 on average, making the dual enrollment course worth over $1,500. On the other hand, a four-year private school tends to charge $1,492 per credit, making the dual credit course worth a little under $6,000. So you can see the benefit of taking these classes while you're in high school. And then finally, by semester, right? Every 5 concurrent enrollment classes can save a semester of college. Based on the cost of different college options, that saving is worth over thousands of dollars. So here on this next slide, so here are some ways to research your local district's potential concurrent college programs. When researching dual enrollment, you should check the school website and speak to the counseling department. If the school doesn't have their own program, the next step would be to contact the district. So as you can see here, unfortunately, because it's a presentation, I can't click on the slide, but I did provide in the chat there, the links so you can verify in California if we offer dual enrollment programs. And in California, it is offered and it's voluntary. So some of the benefits of doing it in California is that the student and parent is responsible for the financial obligations, and it's at low cost. Typically, it's free if you're taking AP classes at your local high school. And then also, there is two dual enrollment programs in California. The original program enables high school students to enroll in colleges or universities part-time, while the College and Career Access Pathways Partnership offers dual enrollment opportunities to underrepresented students and those who may not intend to go to college. So for the original program, students must receive written approval or recommendation and meet the post-secondary institution's entrance requirements. So criteria for participation and the CCAP program are not specified, but for more details, definitely click on that link that we put there in the chat, and it'll kind of walk you through the process of taking advantage of these programs. I'll stop there if there's any questions. I know that was a mouthful. So again, definitely take advantage of those links there, and it'll walk you through how to apply for dual enrollment programs in California. All right, so now we've seen different ways to save for higher education, and we've seen what some of the higher education options are, including dual enrollment. Now let's take a look at how much you should save. So, as I mentioned earlier, we have discussed increase in higher education, so let's start calculating for it. This will help us give you an idea of what you need to start for budgeting and how much you need to save and or invest and prioritize your goals. To help start this process, you will need some important information shown on this slide. So some of the information that we'll need, right, is household income, household expenses, including the number of students in the household, future income outlook, total assets, desired level of education, estimated cost of education, estimated financial aid. So in the chat, I also provided a secondary link, and that is this: how much do you need to save? So if you click on that link, it's actually going to take you to savingforcollege.com, and it'll walk you through the different options of what it would cost to go to college. Let me see if I can share that real quickly with you guys. So this is, if you click on that second link I provided, it's going to give you the savings for college calculator. And it kind of gives you an idea of what you need to do. So for example, if you have one child going to college, and your annual income, let's say it's $75,000, and they want to go to in-state public school, how much are you currently saving for them? What's your contribution on a monthly basis? How much do we anticipate getting in scholarships and grants? And the cost increase year over year, and what the rate of return is, right, for a four-year college. So it kind of gives you an idea of what is the total cost as of today. Oops, let me change this. I went to 2041. Shouldn't have done that. See if I can update this. Uh-oh. Oh, it's custom. I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's showing me the cost for a four-year university in 2041. But it kind of gives you an idea of what it would cost to go to a four-year college and how much you should be saving. Go ahead and feel free to take a look at that link there and play with it, and kind of provide you, hey, what's the college cost, how much do I need to save, and how to take action as well. So I know your next workshop is going to talk a little bit more into detail about the FAFSA, so I'm just going to cover it today at a high level. So FAFSA, what it stands for, it's the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, and it's a form that determines your student eligibility for college-related financial assistance. You or your student will need to fill out or update the form every year. You want to receive financial assistance by the deadline date. Be sure to check the Federal Student Aid website because there are deadlines for the school, the state you live in, and the federal due date. They vary from year to year, but they are quite a bit before the start of the academic school year. In addition to this, you'll also, once you complete the FAFSA application, you'll receive what's called a SAR, or a Student Aid Report, that shows the expected family contribution and eligibility for federal grants and student loans. This report can help you year-over-year planning as your student completes their education. So the Federal Student Aid site has a lot of useful information, including an explanation about the process and the online form itself. So now we've previewed some of these accounts already, but let's take a deeper dive and start breaking these down. So the first one is one traditional savings account, right? So basic savings account, cash, CDs, money market accounts. These accounts are considered more conservative because they are low risk, but they also don't offer a great rate on return. A Roth IRA, starting in 2023, parents or guardians can withdraw a limited amount of money from a Roth IRA to help pay for higher education expenses. This is not recommended, but it is an option. The third option there is a 529 plan. So these are savings plans that people can contribute to. Earnings and withdrawals are tax-free when used to pay for qualified education expenses. These are also UTMA accounts, which are uniform transfer for minors, which are custodial accounts that allow you to save and transfer financial assets to a minor without establishing a trust. Both are held in the name of the student, but are controlled by a parent or relative until the child reaches adulthood. So these types of accounts are assets for the student, so they also help reduce the amount of financial aid they can receive. So keep that in mind. The fourth one there is the ESA. This is our education savings account. So these are savings plans similar to a 529 plan, but they are capped at a $2,000 contribution limit year over year. So they can generally be used for a broader range of expenses, including kindergarten through 12th grade expenses. So something to keep in mind as well. So if you, as an idea here, let's say you have a daughter who's turning 1 and you want to start saving for her, and you want to contribute $2,000 a year. So if we do that math right, we're going to be saving for college in an ESA account of $36,000, right? And then finally, prepaid tuition. This is something a little bit interesting and different. So this is a type of 529 that allows you to purchase tuition credits at the current market price. These credits can be used to pay for tuition at participating higher education institutions. I'm not too familiar with this one, but it's definitely interesting to learn a little bit more about it. And again, those links that I provided will provide that information as well. So here are some questions to help you guide your decision process when picking accounts and investments within those accounts. So some things to consider, right? Are there fees associated with the plan? What can I withdraw the money for? As you mentioned, any of these plans, they are investing accounts. So the only opportunity you can withdraw funds is for higher education purposes like tuition, books, and room and board. How easy is the account to set up? Are funds taxed annually when I withdraw or not at all? As you notice, as well as I mentioned, if you're using the funds in any of these accounts for higher education purposes, there is no taxes to be paid annually when you withdraw. And then finally, what type of college expenses are we saving for? Make sure you keep that in mind so you understand everything that comes with it. As I showed on those other charts, it's pretty expensive. So make sure you know what expenses you're looking to save for. And with that, I'll touch a little bit more about investing to fund higher education. So investing is riskier than the savings methods we've been talking about, but its advantage is potentially higher rate of return. The first step is to determine your investing goals, including your time frame, what type of education your student might need or want, and the forecasted total cost of that education, right? The next step, in the middle here, set up a plan. So it's to set up that investment plan. Choose an investment firm or advisor, how much money you'll be able to invest to start, what kind of assets you want to invest in, and then your advisor will be able to help you all with this. And then finally, the last step is the implementation. You might want to automate your savings and investing process plan plan regular contributions, and be sure to review and adjust your plan according to your circumstances. So now we're ready to create our plan. So these are the steps to creating an action plan. They aren't the only way to go about it, but as you can see, these steps are jumping off place. The one I use frequently and the one I recommend, it offers one of the most important parts of creating an action plan to create good goals, right? So that acronym there, SMART, stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based goals for educational costs. So having achievable goals makes your success more likely. After you've created your goals, then create specific actions to achieve these goals, set a timeline for each specific goal, add the resources, time, and money to accomplish these goals, and finally monitor progress of those goals and track results of action. And then, of course, it's also important to monitor your progress and adjust as needed. So that completes the presentation for today. So in this workshop, again, we've learned about the cost of higher education, strategies you can use to save for those costs. And also, we've spent some time looking at other specifics, such as the FAFSA, and evaluate different ways to savings and investing. So I'm excited for all of you for the next class workshop. You're talking about FAFSA in more detail.
Thank you, Daniel, for presenting today.